I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A Palm Coast man is reeled in as part of a nationwide effort called Project Safe Childhood, Peter Killeen reports.
47-year-old Sean Farrelly faces indictment on a number of charges involving the sex trafficking of an underage girl. Authorities say Farrelly recruited a girl under 18 and also violated her sexually and solicited her to have sex for money with other men. If convicted on the charges against him, Farrelly faces a mandatory minimum of 10 years and up to life in federal prison. Project Safe Childhood was launched in 2006 to combat the growing epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Peter Killeen.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Sunwing Airlines nonstop to Toronto, and starting in May, nonstop flights to New York City via American Airlines.
Flagler County Commissioners unanimously reject a plan that would have brought dozens of new homes to the area. A Jacksonville developer had been seeking to rezone 12 acres at Jungle Hut Road and State Road A1A to construct a 54-home subdivision. Currently, the parcel is zoned residential commercial. But Ken Atley of Atley Development Group needed a planned unit development designation to build a maximum of 87 homes. He didn't get it despite the rezoning request being recommended for approval by the County Planning Board. County commissioners instead determined the homes would be too close together and called the development too intense. They added their concerns that the development could increase evacuation times and dramatically alter the character of the neighborhood. They say it could also potentially hamper wildlife and create a need for more traffic lights. Making sure Flagler County stays ahead of the curve and competitive in a global interconnected world. That was the goal of a recent town hall meeting organized by Flagler County Commissioner Joe Mullins. Dozens of residents and business leaders turned out at the Palm Coast Community Center Friday to hear from a panel of experts that included representatives from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the National Association of Counties, as well as local leaders. Mullins stressed the importance of Flagler County and Palm Coast working together towards the same goal of attracting new industry to the area. To do that, Helga Van Eckert, Executive Director of the Flagler County Department of Economic Opportunity, says a high-speed fiber optic network is vital, but it doesn't come cheap. Andrew Hayes with the USDA says they fund 15 grants a year for rural broadband systems. Pinell City Manager Alvin Jackson told attendees his city is engaged in developing a master utility plan that includes the expansion of high-speed internet access, but fiber has been a missing piece of that puzzle. Palm Coast Mayor Melissa Holland touted the benefits of such a system. The city is one of just 150 communities in the country with a publicly owned fiber network.
I wouldn't run around with your hair on fire. That's a direct quote from State Rep Paul Renner. He was on Free for All Friday, and he was talking about a tourism funding bill in the legislature.
It's true, and here it is.
It's another one of those that I wouldn't run around with your hair on fire.
What Renner's talking about is House Bill 6031, which is a bill that funds Florida tourism. Renner, who's from the 24th District and represents Flagler, St. Johns, Putnam, and Northern Volusia counties, said it's in the early session and anything could happen with the funding. He said historically, Visit Florida functioned on a $25 million budget, but in the past few years, it's grown to $75 million.
As a balanced budget state, you have to decide, is that $75 million more important in the hands of Visit Florida, or is it more important in restoring our beaches, which is critical to our tourism?
Renner said that if Visit Florida gets fewer dollars, there is also the bed tax that helps to support tourism. Renner, Senator Travis Hudson, and Matthew Dunn, the executive director of Flagler County Tourist Development Office, discussed the tourism funding bill on Free for All Friday last week. Tomorrow, Hudson shares his view of the bill. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
A nonprofit has police officers reading to children. Tony Magoo has the story.
2 weeks ago, the Early Learning Coalition of Flagler and Volusia started a partnership with the Bunnell Police Department to bring the officer-friendly program to the city of Bunnell. With us this morning is Bunnell Police Chief Tom Foster to help us understand how his men and women are helping.
Each month, a Bunnell police officer will visit a selected early learning program, and they take 30 minutes at a time to sit down with preschool-aged children and basically read stories.
Stories will focus on building children's self-esteem, developing their social skills, and creating positive relationships with police officers. The chief said the department is excited to be part of this valuable program.
And really, it's an investment in our community. We are hoping to develop trust with our youth. We hope we get additional partnerships out of this throughout the community with the other VPKs.
Now, if you're interested in partnering with the ELCFV to help more children in need attend quality early learning childcare programs, call 323-2400 or toll free at 877-352-0065. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.